Welcome to Ask Between the Keyframes on Motionographer. Hey, Austin.
Hey, Aaron.
Well, we got another good question. You want to dig in with me?
Let's do it.
Okay. If you could start your career again today in a new design-oriented field, where would you go? I've been motion designing for 10 years now and wanting to switch it up, yet still utilize my skill set. So I think we should think about this not necessarily like what we would do specifically, but like over the years, we've seen many people come into motion design and evolve out of it or evolve in a different direction, in a different way. So let's speak to it like as a way that this person can utilize their skills that they've developed.
Like, what are
over
the
years.
options? Like, what are options for motion design?
Like a small pivot, a large pivot. There's lots of, ways to go. First, I see you, I think a teacher. You could become an educator, especially now with online. Yeah, with online classes, a School of Motion and Motion Hatch, all those places.
Right on. I mean, teaching, it's great. For me, it fulfills a part and a need of doing a type of service and human connection. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy it. And I actually like doing commercial art more when I in tandem, I think that's the word I'm looking for, with teaching, right? So I get to fill up some different needs. Yeah.
Right. It certainly diversifies your day too, which is nice. Yeah. The other idea I was thinking is becoming a producer. I mean, we need like very educated producers in this field, and if you are a talented motion designer, in the mix for 10 years and you actually have your shit together, you know what I mean? I would consider pivoting into producing where you can be an advocate for other motion designers instead of just being the grind. It's a totally different job, but if you have those sensibilities, it might be a great
have a really deep understanding of the process.
Totally. I think recruiting, like we don't really have any well, there are recruiters out there. I don't want to get emails from all the recruiters. But like people that understand the nuts and bolts of like what a motion designer is and what is important to them and what they're looking for, having been a motion designer, like you'd probably understand the nuance of what that means a little bit. So doing recruiting or staffing for companies would be an interesting job.
Yeah, and just knowing like kind of the key words and the language of what even to look for, right? Having again, experience in that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I had another. You go.
I got one. We got one.
You go.
Okay. I was just going to talk about a book called The Artist's Way.
Oh, okay.
It was a book. I don't remember exactly when it came out, but maybe the 80s or 90s by an author named Julia Cameron. Mm-hmm. And it was really designed around exercises that you could do that would help you kind of have a conversation with yourself and figure out, well, what is it? What is it that I really want to be doing?
That's
right?
Awesome.
And a lot of it had to do with like free writing and stream of consciousness and so I thought I'd throw that out there as a potential tool, The Artist's Way.
Yeah, how to find yourself. You know what I mean? Like figure out what's important to you and what you want to pull from. I mean, you might find that it's not necessarily what you're doing, but maybe the rut is that you want to move abroad and experience the world in a different way. Certainly with the, remote workflow climate, you could get away with doing that now and do really well. As long as you have great internet, you can work anywhere.
Especially with 10 years experience. Like you've got all the networks, you've got, you understand the process. It's not like, you're a veteran. You don't need to be mentored. Like you can just set up shop.
Yeah, you can plop into anybody's pipeline anywhere. And the last thing I was thinking was like, maybe it's not what you're doing, it's who you're doing it for. Because there's so many people need motion design now. I think, you could get into gaming, you can go direct into brand. What kind of brand do you want to go deep into tech? Like what, maybe interface design or product dev. I think that there's like way more options than we tend to think about.
Experiential, live events.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot, yeah.
So And certainly with like Unreal happening, maybe being an earlier adopter of that on the motion design side of things could be an interesting adventure for you. So I think it might not be like necessarily what, but for whom and exactly where. That could be kind of cool. All right. That's all we got. Thanks for the question. Peace.